HB 667. HB 6667. Too many sixes. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the last bit of HB 6667 that is getting implemented as of July 1st. It pertains specifically to pistol classes here in Connecticut for those who have not gotten their permits yet. And if you haven't gotten your permit yet, you're a little behind the curve. Dealing specifically with the legal brief that has to attach to the class, going over all of Connecticut laws, the misdemeanors. We'll get into that. But first, just want to say the best way to support the channel is obviously going to be to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a little comment in the bottom. If you choose to give a little more, then down in the description below, obviously there's going to be a link to the merch store where you can get swag like this, or everybody's favorite, the best-selling shirt that we have right here, Guns and Ammo, because America runs on guns and ammo. And if you live here in the Northeast, you know what it's a parody of. All right, enough shilling for the shirts. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the video. Again, this video is probably not going to pertain to most of you because you already have permits. So don't let your permit expire, otherwise you will be in this boat. Now, if you are someone on the outside of the state trying to get your non-resident permit for the state of Connecticut, you are going to fall into this boat too. So hopefully you found this video because you're trying to figure out how to get your pistol permit in the state of Connecticut. All right, here are the steps on how to get your permit. First and foremost, you must take a state-approved class. It's your basic safety course, right? Your basic handgun 101 type class. If you're under 21 and you're going to be going for like your long gun permit, you're going to end up in a pistol class anyways because that's what they call for. It's the damnedest thing. All right. Now the state approved courses, there's a lot of them. You can find them online. It's going to be like NRA, USCCA, SAFE, and a slew of others. Some people that are local instructors have their own proprietary PowerPoint that they go by that is state approved, so on and so forth. For anyone that's going to be in an NRA course, you're going to have to sign a affidavit basically saying that you got the legal brief. So here's what happened was when Connecticut changed their law and they said, hey, every part of this handgun class or every handgun class needs to have this part where you discuss state laws. USCCA jumped on board real quick, created a PowerPoint, curriculum, submitted to the state for approval. It got approved months ago. A lot of places are using that curriculum today. Those that are NRA instructors, which the NRA classes are the gold standard when it comes to getting your permits. All the states accept it. The NRA came out and said, we will not rewrite our curriculum or create add-on curriculum for one state. Too much hassle. So it left a lot of the instructors in limbo. Well, the state decided they would create their own PowerPoint for these NRA instructors to go off of. And it goes over all of the laws, the misdemeanors, felonies, things that you need when you're going to carry a gun, what might prevent you from getting a gun, so on and so forth. Now, there was a rumor that SLFU put out this PowerPoint, but then came out later, like a week later, and said, listen, yeah, we know we put this out, but we're still not going to accept it. It's not good enough. I can't find any solid evidence of this, and I've talked to a lot of people about it. Some people have said, yep, they've heard it. Others said they haven't heard anything, they haven't seen anything, so who knows? Personally, it's probably just a rumor. Now, the problem with taking a USCCA course is if you're looking to get a multi-state permit, such as your Utah permit, or maybe you travel up to Massachusetts a lot and you want to get your Mass permit. I don't recommend it, but what do I know? Just because Connecticut's good for 5 years, Utah's good for 5 years, Massachusetts whacks you every year for $100, and every 5 years you have to go up there and get re-interviewed by the police. It's such a hassle. But anyway, maybe you have to go up there. I don't know. I mean, their whole permitting system right now is being upheavaled in the courts because in Massachusetts you have to still sort of kind of provide a reason why they should issue you a permit, which has been found unconstitutional under Bruin and some other cases, which are the New York pistol permit case. Maybe that was it, where it says you can't just make up a reason like, prove to me why you need this. No, everybody should get a permit if there's going to be a permit process. But luckily, the vast majority of the states in our country currently are constitutional carry, so you don't need a permit. It pertains to them and their citizens, not you. You live in Connecticut, which is behind enemy lines. So, if you need to get your Utah permit because you want to travel, then you are going to have to find an NRA course. And if you already have your permit, and then you're thinking about taking another class to get your Utah permit, again, it's got to be NRA. All right, you can't use your old certificates. Everything's got to match. The class, the NRA class, your certificate, the add-on for Utah, and that paperwork stamped by your Utah instructor, signed, dated, the whole nine, all that has to match the same day, and then you can submit it. You can't use an old certificate. Trust me, I know, I'm a Utah instructor. All right? Once you get your class out of the way, you go apply to your local PD. All right? If you don't have a local PD because you live in Higabama, you're going to use a resident state trooper, or some towns you may have to use your first selectman to start the process. Regardless, go to the website, your local PD's website. There should be an area talking about applying for your pistol permit. It will give you all the steps, and each town has a link to the application, and that's the link you want to use. You can get the application right off the state's website. The problem is a lot of towns, Meriden did it, Wallingford does it, so all these towns always like to slip in a little extra to the application process. And if you hand in an application that you pull down from SLFU's website, it's not going to have those specific little add-ins, and it could cause you to get denied because you didn't follow simple instructions. But I digress. You're going to fill out the paperwork, pull down your PDF so you can fill it all out, all that stuff. There's also going to be a code for your local PD. That code corresponds to the website link that is provided pretty much right next to it, which will start the process for your fingerprinting, your background check, and all that. You're going to pay right then and there with a credit card to get the ball rolling. Now, the reason you need that code, in every town, every PD town, every town's PD has a very unique code, and it's letting the website know where to send the information, which PD it's attached to. So it's important you have that code. If for some reason you can't find that code, come back to this video, hit up the comments, send me a DM, whatever you need to do, I can help you find it. I'm pretty good at locating those. All right, so take care of that. Now, it used to be, under old law, that police departments had 8 weeks to do your background check, get you fingerprinted, and get you your temp permit. When HB Satan 7 passed, it took it from 8 weeks to 16 weeks because no department was doing it in 8 weeks. There are very few, I should say. Fastest I've ever seen it was in Wallingford. It took 3 days. Meriden, I know, is like 3 to 6 months at some point. Bridgeport, Hartford, all of those, like forever. They just find any reason to stall. But now the law says Instead of the 8 weeks, you get 16 weeks, so twice as much time. However, the caveat now is if the local PD fails to do their job in 16 weeks and you don't get a temporary permit, technically, you are able to go directly to SLFU, sign an affidavit saying that you tried to apply through your local PD and they haven't done anything about it. State police will then take over, run you through the next system, everything comes back, you check out, you're clean, they'll issue you your state pistol permit. That's the idea, at least. I haven't seen anything from the state police, SLFU, DESP, any of those people, any of those groups, about the affidavits. So don't ask me about it. I don't know. If someone out there knows, hit me up, let me know. Give me the information. So after the time has passed, your local PD is going to hopefully call you. Now, you don't want to call and bug them a lot because it could irritate them, and you know, you're basically, they got you by the cojones at this point. Be tactful, be nice. They'll call you in and tell you to come pick up your 60-day permit. Your 60-day permit is literally just a piece of paper, and it's good for 60 days. It is absolutely worthless. It doesn't do anything for you. You can't buy anything. Technically, you can't carry a gun outside of your town with that, on that permit. It'd be in town only. I wouldn't even do that. But what it does allow you to do is take that temporary permit and then go to the state police barracks here in Middletown, which is the main SLFU office. For those that live out more toward the casino, you can go to Montville. And there's a third one, but I'd stick with either Middletown, make the trip to Middletown because it's the head office, it's quick and easy, or go to Montville where they have specific hours where they do this. So you're going to have to look them up. Once you go to SLFU, fill out a little postcard. They take your photo, they take $70 from you. No personal checks, it's got to be cash or like a banker's check, no credit cards, things like that. It's pretty simple. All that information is in the permit. If you have any questions, you can call SLFU. Don't ever recommend doing that, but you can call them and work it out with them. You should receive a hard copy of your card that day. Then you're able to go out and you buy all the ammunition and all the guns that are legal in Connecticut that you want. I'm kidding. That's how it used to be. Now you're limited to 3 handguns per month, unless you're an instructor. So if you're an NRA instructor, USCCA instructor, one of the other groups out there that teach handgun safety, then you're allotted 6 guns per month. But you're only allowed 3 guns per month. That's part of the law that passed. Your permit is going to be good for 5 years. When it is time to renew, they are supposed to send you a letter in the mail telling you, hey, you've got 90 days before your permit expires. Please submit XYZ for renewal. They don't always do that. Plus, if you move, the letter is going to go to the wrong address because when you move, by law, you need to tell SLFU, the DMV, and all them within 48 hours that you moved. All they're going to tell you to do is put a little white sticker on the back with your new address and you're golden. But as long as everything gets switched over in the system, you'll be fine. So make sure you do that. If you move, make sure you update your address. Since I can't guarantee the state is going to send out your renewal letter, I always tell everybody just set an alarm in your phone for 90 days prior to the expiration date so you know when the alert goes off in your calendar that you need to start the process. Now, the process used to be to go down there and all that, but with COVID, it was mail-in, and now mail-in is morphed into doing it online. They will still accept the mail-in stuff, but they prefer everything just done right online. Photos are uploaded, all that stuff. In a previous video, I showed you the portal where you could register your assault weapons. That has obviously disappeared. The entire database that they showed you has disappeared God only knows where it went and what they're doing with it. But when you're in your window for renewal of your permit, you'll get an icon to click on to start the process of renewing your permit. It will take a while, so do not delay. Last time I renewed mine, I sent it in within, because I did get a letter, 90 days out, and I sent it in within about a week. And I got my new permit in the mail the day my old permit expired. All right? Now, if you don't get your new permit within the 90 days and your permit does expire, don't fret. You still have 90 days on the backside. To where if you hadn't begged for a renewal, you can do the process at that point. But what it mainly allows you to do is continue to carry your guns. You will no longer be able to buy ammunition or firearms off of your expired permit, but you do have that 90-day grace period afterward to where you can continue to carry. So while your permit's good, I guess stock up. That's all I gotta say. All right. If you are a non-resident, you're gonna have to go through the same process. And Connecticut will not issue you a permit unless you already have a permit in your home state. So people that are like from New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, the surrounding area. Because nobody out in Montana is trying to get their non-resident Connecticut permit. I doubt it. There's maybe one out there, but I highly doubt it. You got to take the same class. It's got to have all the same information. You cannot use your old safety course, right? Because they will not honor it anymore. So technically, yes, I know the NRA class certificates never expire. Correct. The state said, though, they're only good for 2 years. If it's older than 2 years, they're not going to accept it at all. And some towns won't even do that. After about a year, a lot of departments are like, yep, no good. They're just looking at it as you've probably forgotten everything. And they want you to take the class so everything's fresh in your mind. I kind of understand that. At the same time, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But I think everybody should have safety training. Last thing I want is untrained people running around with guns that have no idea what they're doing. But I don't think it should be mandated. I think everybody should just voluntarily do it. It should be just part of our school curriculum. That's a good idea. Wait, that is a law in Connecticut. Did you know that? Every school is supposed to provide basically a gun safety course. It's the law. They even wrote the curriculum. The CCDL has curriculum. The state has curriculum. The money to implement this, it's all there. They just never did. See, that's one of those things they do, is they pass a law and they just fail to enforce that part of the law, right? But if it was something that went against you and you're like, well, I'm just going to ignore that part because I don't like it. Well, you know damn well they're going to lock you up. They're going to take your guns, pull your permit, all that jazz. So, you know, do as I say, not as I do, according to the state of Connecticut. There you go. And that's pretty much your permitting process. It is a lot easier than I made it sound, but at the same time, it is kind of difficult. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but that's just how it is. So for you guys out there that already have your permits, don't let them expire and not renew, because you're just going to be SOL. You're going to have to jump through all these freaking hoops again. But just so you guys understand, if you don't have a permit, you can still own your guns that you have and your ammunition. You just can't get any more. Just so you know. All right? People always ask, like, oh, if I have my permit, my permit expires and I don't renew it, you know, what about the guns I already own? You're fine. They're your guns. You just can't do anything with them, right? You can even transport them to the range and shoot at the range, because that's okay. but you won't be able to buy any more ammo. So if you haven't stocked up on your ammo, you might want to. If you move out of state, I'd like to say congratulations. That is probably the smartest thing you could do. However, remember you have 48 hours to tell the state of Connecticut that you have moved, and they will automatically take your current permit and turn it into a non-resident permit. And then when you come up for renewal and you do everything for that renewal, you'll then receive a non-resident state permit going forward. Now, if you're like a snowbird and you're going to be bouncing back and forth from like here to Florida or wherever, how does the permit work? Well, it's simple. If your home of record is Connecticut, your driver's license is Connecticut, then you maintain your Connecticut permit. If you have a Florida driver's license or some other state, and that is your primary residence, then you will have a non-resident permit in Connecticut. That being said, you must make sure that you have a permit in your home state. Otherwise, Connecticut will not allow you to A, get one, B, renew. So make sure wherever you move outside of Connecticut, you immediately go through their process to obtain their permit. And it will cover you to where you can maintain your Connecticut one. All right. Again, I know most of you already have your permits and it probably isn't going to pertain to you, but just want to make sure that you are all aware that July 1st, things will be changing going forward. And for anybody that's just searching the YouTube, looking through the algorithm to try and figure out how do I get a Connecticut state pistol permit, here's the video for you. That's what you need to do. All right. That is a simple breakdown of the video. And there's tons of places out there to get your training. Lock and Load in Southington. Tom's Firearms is hosting a class. You got Tom's Defense, different Tom, different company. He hosts classes. You got tons of them. Just Google it. All right? But be wary. Some places maybe seem really, really cheap. And like, oh, that's a great deal. But you get what you pay for. All right? Sometimes those classes are massive, and you're not going to get individual attention that you may need. Versus another class that is more moderately priced, like everybody else, the classes are going to be smaller, a little more intimate, and you'll be able to ask a lot more questions. Trust me, talking from experience. So, that's pretty much all I have for this video. Please, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscription button. Toggle the bell so you get notifications when new videos go up online. Go get some merch, help support the channel. It allows me to keep providing you free content. And definitely, throw some comments down in the comment section. It really helps with the algorithm. It helps boost the video and get it out to more and more people. Less than half of the people in Connecticut right now have their pistol permit. And I would love to see everybody that is legally eligible for their permit in Connecticut to get their permit and tell the state where they can go stick it. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I will see you in the next video. You guys have a wonderful day.